Underwater situation, of the 75 million homeowners, there's estimated 11 million who are underwater, which means that that there will be continuing distressed property sales. People who overstretched during the bubble, or people unfortunately bought it right at the peak, but the prices have fallen, so they're underwater. So it will take time to fully remove the underwater situation. Either prices have to rise, or there needs to be continued distressed property sales, and the new borrowers, I mean, they're healthy, financially healthy, they're replacing the distressed borrowers. So it's a replacement. And based on 1.5 million each year of distressed property sales, you have 11 million, it may take quite some time to fully clear the distressed property from the inventory. So it's not going to be 1 or 2 years time span, it could be 4 or 5 year time span. And I would say it all depends on what happened to the prices. If the prices rise, there will be fewer underwater homeowners. But also we need to recognize not all underwater homeowners are quote unquote distressed. There are people who bought it, they're underwater, but they say, you know, we can make a mortgage payment, so they continue to make mortgage payment and they're not bothered by that. However, even these people who are making mortgage payment who are underwater, they will not move in normal, even if there's a changing family circumstances or there's a new job that's not too far away. So under normal circumstances, if they had a positive equity, they would make the move. But underwater homeowners said, no, I don't want to move. I just stay here just a few more additional years and see what happens. So essentially, you put half of the underwater homeowners out of the market. And based on some analysis, underwater situation will hold back buyers by about 7%. But today, the home sales, in my view, are lowered by even larger than 7%. It's 15% because of the tight credit underwriting situation. And this is the thing that really does not make sense. Why is the bank so overly stringent? Because if you let good borrowers into the market, they absorb the inventory and it heals the housing market very quickly. And it will be good for the banks also. They see their collateral values begin to stabilize. It will be great for the banks. NAR President Ron Phipps had a meeting with nearly all of the large bank, the top people at the large bank, Bank of America, Citi, JP Morgan. In all those meetings, asking the question, why don't you lend? Look at all this data suggesting that you are being overly stringent. And the banks would say, well, we cannot lend because we have the regulators over our shoulders, and if we lend too much, they're going to shout at us. So we talked to the regulators in Washington, everyone, FDIC, the Fannie and Freddie, the regulators of Fannie and Freddie, the HUD. Why are the banks not lending? They are saying the regulation is too tight and you are shouting at them. And the regulators would say, no, we are not shouting at them. We are saying lend, 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 but they are refusing to lend. So pointing the direction at each other, finger pointing at each other. What is happening in reality, likely, is the following. According to the regulation, the potential box of potential lending is rather large, or I should say normal box. But the actual lending by the banks is much smaller box than the other normal box. And from Bank of America's point of view, today they will only lend to clients if they can sell that away to Fannie and Freddie or it has FHA guarantee. If they cannot sell it, they have to keep it in the bank. They don't want to do it because it eats up their capital. So only if they can sell it, they will lend it. So the Fannie and Freddie is saying, send us the loan. But the Bank of America is not sending them all the loans, not as much as they could. And the reasoning is, Bank of America say, if we send them the loans, 2 years from now, Fannie and Freddie will come back to us and say, repurchase those mortgages that are defaulting. So Bank of Americas are afraid there will be a repurchase mandate on them, and hence they are being extra conservative. And how do we resolve this? I think it's only through talking, looking at the data, the superior performance of the people who are taking out the mortgage today. I think all that, but at least there's some discussion moving. And again, the other factor is banks now have plenty of capital. So given that they have plenty of capital, they should go into the business for which they were created, which is lending. And but right now, that's not the case. But I don't think it will get any tighter than this. If anything, it will be somewhat less stringent as we proceed with each passing mile. So at least that's the hope.